Every once in a while, a video game comes out that takes the entire industry by storm. No one ever saw it coming, no one knew where it came from, and everyone suddenly is on top of it. Today, we're going to be talking about one of those games, and a game that I personally think might be the prime example of a perfect video game. And that game is Rocket League. Rocket League released on July 7th of 2015 and came to commercial success. It was an indie game made by the company known as Psionic Studios, and it was their second most popular game since Rocket-Powered Battle Cars, I believe was the name of the game, which came out back in 2008 for the PlayStation 3. Now, Rocket League was a bit of a surprise to pretty much everybody. Not many people had played Rocket-Powered Battle Cars as it was a very niche title for the PlayStation 3. And so when this game comes out for the PS4 and the PC, it blew everyone's mind. The reason why I'm talking about Rocket League now is because I think that looking at their metrics and how they are doing now is a prime example of how a game should be marketed, how a game should be developed, and more specifically, how a game should be played. So Rocket League is a very simple premise. You play as two teams, either red team or blue team, and your job is to knock a soccer ball into the other opponent's goal. And that's it. You can break it down into teams of 1 or up to 4, and then there are all sorts of different game modes in between soccer and hockey and basketball, and a little bit of like mayhem thrown in when you have like weapons and stuff added to the mix is another game type. Now, Rocket League is an esport, and as such, it has grown to even bigger commercial success as people are now playing for actual money. So let's get down into the principles about what makes Rocket League a phenomenal game. The first thing that I think that needs to be talked about is the way that this game is played. Again, it is a very simple premise. Knock a soccer ball into the goal, and everyone can get behind it, right? It's a simple sport, everyone knows soccer, and the controls are easy and intuitive to pick up and play right off the bat. You have your right trigger that makes you accelerate, your left trigger that makes you back up. If you're playing on a mouse and keyboard, the controls are, whatever it is would be a mouse and keyboard. But it's incredibly easy to pick up that your 5-year-old can do it. However, it's also complex enough at the exact same time that you can get someone who's playing these esports to go at it if he's trained for hours and hours, hundreds upon hours, and he'll be flying through the air doing tricks that nobody knew that you could even pull off in this game. And that is in itself the beauty of Rocket League. It is easy to learn, but incredibly difficult to master, and that is what makes a phenomenal video game, especially a phenomenal sports game. There are no abilities that you can get to upgrade your cars, there's no stats that you have to get later. All that you have is the game and the physics that are based around the game. And so, it is completely 110% always fair unless your connection messes up, but that's the fault of, not necessarily of the game. The game itself is incredibly fair and incredibly easy to control. Another thing that this game did absolutely perfectly, as far as I'm concerned, was the way it marketed itself, or rather, the way it didn't market itself. These days you have these publishing companies that throw millions and millions of dollars into advertising and marketing to ensure that they can give you, the greatest thing that was ever made, right? They'll promise the world all the time, and most of the time they won't deliver on half of the things that were promised. The other game that I can't help but think of is No Man's Sky, the indie title that was a colossal flop after its initial launch. Everyone bought into that hype. Everyone believed that this was going to be the game that blew everyone's mind, from the quintillion planets that you could go to all of the different things you could do in that game. It was supposed to be like the most expansive, amazing thing ever. And it turned out to be a colossal failure. But everyone had already bought into that marketing and all of that hype that by the time it came out, it didn't matter. They had already run off to the bank. Rocket League, on the other hand, did the polar opposite of that. It had almost no marketing. I worked at a GameStop, and I can promise you that I don't remember any kind of marketing for this game anywhere. I know that we certainly didn't have any banners for Rocket League when it first came out, and I know that nobody had ever even talked about it. I happened to find it actually through the PlayStation Store and Steam. And I just happened to be browsing one day, and it was just there. Hey, if you have PlayStation Plus, this is the game that you get for free. And when I was on Steam when it initially come out, it was, hey, look at this little soccer game that just came out. It's going to be really fun. Now, this was about around the time that I'd actually really started getting into the indie scene and started looking at a lot of these smaller games and these smaller game studios. And I couldn't help but be really curious about what this game was offering. It seemed like such a simple premise, and it seemed like it was a lot of fun from everyone that I had watched, I instantly jumped to YouTube and I looked at videos of it, and everyone was singing its praise. And I think that that is the best kind of marketing that you can have. When you have a company that throws millions into marketing, like Destiny, or with No Man's Sky, or with Assassin's Creed, with all these massive E3 presentations and everything like that, they build you up so much thinking that you're going to get the greatest thing in the world, they honestly end up spending more money on their marketing than they actually do on developing the game itself. And 9 out of 10 times, it really shows. The best video games that I've ever seen are the ones that speak for themselves, and Rocket League is easily one of those games. It spread simply by word of mouth. When the game came out free on the PlayStation Store for that month, and everyone was just like, why not, I'll give it a shot, instantly everybody wanted to tell all of their friends about it because it was so much fun and so easy to pick up that it's only continued to grow from here to now. It has 10.5 million subscribers and 29 active users, or something along those lines. And no, 10.5 million sales, 29 subscribers who have like actively participated in playing this game, and it's one of the biggest esports now on the market. It's an amazing underdog story and a prime example of what happens when you develop a game properly. When you focus on making something that people can enjoy, that's easy to use and easy to play, you are going to get those sales. When the passion is there, you will get the following. And I think that this company needs to be celebrated more and more every single day because of the game that they've created. It's an honest, genuine masterpiece. And the crazy thing is that it's not more complicated than that. Every single match is only 5 minutes long. They don't last long at all, and then they'll go into overtime, which can be some of the most nail-biting experiences ever. The amount of elation and screaming and just running around and losing your mind, at least that's me, whenever I make a game-winning goal on a match that's been going on 5 minutes longer than it was supposed to, you can't actually describe that sensation unless you're playing it or witnessing it. It is such an enthralling, captivating experience, and I love every single second of it. If you've not played Rocket League yet, you absolutely owe it to yourself to go out and pick it up, but I'm pretty sure everyone here has, right? The game's been out now for 2 years. Why am I talking about it now? Well, because I'd seen a video earlier this week that talked about how Rocket League sales and their user base has only continued to climb, and that's incredibly impressive, right? For an indie game that has next to no real backing behind it in terms of history, they come out and make this game, and they are growing. Their fan base is continuing to soar, and they're continuing to provide players with free content every once in a while, new cars, new things to unlock, new maps, and all the different promotional advertisements that you can find from other companies. You can put the little Witcher emblem on the back of your antenna. You can have Rick and Morty on top of your car. There's all sorts of amazing things that make me just go, I can't believe that they actually managed to put it in this game. They have the rights to like so many different properties. It's fantastic. And I bring all of this up because I want to take another dig at these AAA big budget companies and these studios that really think that they're doing us a favor. E3, for example, is probably one of the most obnoxious shows I've seen. It's nothing but hype and all empty promises. Every single thing that you see in there is a vertical slice, and unless you can actually be on the floor playing it, there's no way that you can convince me otherwise. I have, for example, no interest in Anthem until I actually see real gameplay footage of it. Not someone who is playing on a stage, but I mean someone who actually has that game in their hands. That's when I'll be excited for games like this, because we've all gotten excited for these kind of games, right? We were all excited for games like For Honor when it was coming out, or No Man's Sky, or Mass Effect Andromeda, or any of these other games that turned out to be just colossal failures. And it's honestly because all of the focus was put into just marketing the game rather than making a good game. No Man's Sky has like nobody playing it anymore. For Honor has like nobody playing it anymore. Call of Duty is falling apart every single year, and you know, all of these sequels that are releasing that are built upon with millions of dollars put into their advertising just completely fall flat on their face. So I think that now more than ever, it's important to really just celebrate. I just wanted to talk about Rocket League because I've been playing it a lot. I was playing with friends, and so it was just the first thing that came to my mind that I wanted to talk about. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys play Rocket League a lot? What are your thoughts on it? Whatever it is, comment below. And if you like this video, feel free to leave a thumbs up. If you disliked it, leave a thumbs down. And if, hey, you know, maybe subscribe. I plan on doing more videos like this where I actually talk about the state of the industry and what you can expect coming out of it, and honestly my opinions on it, because that was one of the primary reasons that I had made this channel in the first place, but I had never really gotten around to really doing that. A lot of it was Let's Plays and trying to understand how all this recording stuff worked, because as you know, I'm completely new to this. So, anyway, this is a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a practice, if you would, as to what you could expect in the future, and I'll probably go into more depth with more of these games later, but for now, this is what I got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all around next time. Have a good one, everybody.